Yes, hello everybody. We're actually going to wait. We'll start officially 11:05 because it seems like there will be more people joining us. So yeah, we'll just wait a few minutes. I think we can start right now because it will be recorded and later the recording will be available also online. So welcome everybody. My name is Risto. I'm the CEO of Magnetic MRO, and on my right and on your left is our CFO Astrid. And I think our names are familiar because those who have read the quarterly reports, then our names go through over there. So the reason for us coming here today is to actually explain a bit what is behind the bond early redemption, which was announced on 21st of August 2020. And on 19th of December 2018, we started this bond. It was rather successful and very positive experience for us. And so would like to share a bit of background why we're doing the early redemption. There's going to be a few topics we're going to speak about. Generally, the first one would be the what is happening in the aviation in general, what Magnetic MRO has been doing in relation to this crisis. Then a little bit about our business units and what is the future potential as we see in this new reality. And then maybe more detailed why exactly we had to do that, and would you be able to maybe meet us again in the future on the capital markets. Maybe different from the other speakers and the other webinars is we do not have a presentation. Actually, during this COVID crisis, we made the presentations bi-weekly, and there's lots of presentations, but I think as this one is a redemption call, then it's going to be less facts and figures, but more the people and human beings who are behind it. And as we are so much into this industry, then we don't need much guidelines. We're just going to speak actually what is happening. So let me begin, and yes, afterwards we will have questions and answers. And Astrid, yes.
Yes, good morning from my side as well. Welcome on our webinar. There is a question box on the right side of your screen, so please post your questions there, and we're going to go through them after Risto finish.
Yes. So please feel free to ask questions. So let me begin. The first one, many may ask, so what is happening in the aviation industry? So a little bit background on what is actually happening right now. The aviation, the MRO sector where we are in was expected to be in 2020 total $91 billion. Supposed to be a record year. Right now, the predictions are that 2021 will be far from 90 million, so they're expecting to be in the range of 70, hopefully. But this year, the MRO industry will be dropping to the level of $50 billion. So the drop is significant. It's in the range of 35 to 40%. And this is visible basically everywhere. When it comes to passenger travel, then the media has been rather active, and many of you have heard that the airlines are going through really difficult times. And the same is in the OEM industry. The OEM means the manufacturing of new airplanes. In regards to magnetic MRO activity, then we are mainly focusing to the maintenance, repair, and overhaul segment, a little bit less on the leasing, and very little in the manufacturing area. We also expect and foresee drop in the sales revenues, but the key message is that we, as an organization, took this early call in the second half of March when the COVID lockdown started. We took it very seriously, and retrospectively, we started to drop the costs, starting from the salaries, where we actually retrospectively dropped the salaries up to a certain level, to some positions even up to 30%. And the first ones to take the hit was actually management. We wanted to show to our people that management is fully into this crisis, and we're fighting this together. After that followed cost cuts in different other areas, and equally also in the headcount. So we had to lay off and make redundant total 18% people. Together with contracted staff, it was 24% of staff, which is rather significant. And our total variable costs before the COVID was in the range of 9 million euros monthly. We managed to bring it down to the level of 4.5 million in 2 months later. So in the end of May, our variable costs were in the level of 4.5 million. So the cost reduction was extremely significant, and I think if magnetic MRO has been visible outside as a rather active organization, then this crisis, I guess, also showed the way how we work. We adapted to this new reality extremely fast. We didn't start it to stand still and wait with a big hope that everything will be normal. And I've said that also in other announcements, that our greatest help actually was the information we received through our entity in Germany. We have a company over there as well, and we received guidelines through the German government side that the downtime is expected to last till September. So that actually motivated us to be extremely aggressive on the cost reductions. And today we are here. The company is fully active, fully engaged, and the cost reductions have put us into the position where we don't see this crisis something that we're fighting for the survival. We are more tuned to seeing the opportunities in the chaos. And about these opportunities, I will share you a bit later as well, a little bit, as much as I can do that. But the key message is that we're definitely here, asking for mercy and for survival. So, of course, these days everything can change overnight, and this COVID situation can turn things back worse. But still, the bad scenarios we foresee, we're definitely here for a long run. So I've mentioned now that we're definitely not going to disappear, but the business units and how they are doing, I'll go through maybe one by one, a little bit share also what we see going to happen in the future. We have total 10 business units that are worth bringing out. They're also smaller, but the biggest one is our base maintenance, or the hangar maintenance business, which has been the backbone of the organization throughout the years. And today the situation is that the labor-intensive work is still going positive. We have hangars fully loaded, except seeing airlines in the hangar. We're seeing more and more leasing companies sending the aircrafts to the maintenance. And the reason for that is the airlines obviously are in liquidity problems. Many of them are not able to pay the leasing anymore, and the lessors are repositioning the aircrafts. And in order to make them ready for the next lessee, they are bringing the aircrafts to the maintenance. Plus, later they need painting, which we can do, and very likely they need also a cabin retrofit, which we can do as well. So that has actually kept us going in the base maintenance. I do see with the team of ours that if the market won't recover in terms of passenger travel in the next half year, then we may see actually in base maintenance challenges second half of next year, because if all these aircrafts that lessors have repossessed will not be put on leasing, then there won't be too many aircrafts that are going to be needed for the maintenance. Again, I think our relatively small size in this industry is actually a benefit. We have 4 heavy maintenance lines in Tallinn, and to load 4 lines is definitely not a major challenge. If we would have 20 or 30 heavy maintenance lines, then it would be totally different topic. The next business unit, engines is definitely a challenge when it comes to engine leasing and engine spare part trading, because simply the engines building and repair have dropped drastically, and airlines are using other aircrafts they have parked as a spare part. So they're taking engines from the aircraft that are parked, and they are trying to avoid unnecessary cash out. They are taking the engines from anywhere else and not continuing to build or maintain the engines. But we do also engine, let's say, hospital repairs or repairs which don't require going too deep into the engine. And we have noticed that as soon as the crisis hit, then the increase in the engine, let's say hospital repairs, we call them, have increased significantly. And not too far from now, we will be also announcing some news in regards to engine hospital repairs. That's a business area that we're definitely going to increase. And together with the commercial pressure to the OEMs to build aircrafts that require less hangar maintenance and can be fixed more on the apron, then the engine hospital repairs as such will be definitely increasing in demand, and we definitely want to be there for the future airlines and OEMs to support them with those hospital repairs. The third unit is spare part unit, and which is mainly doing aircraft spare parts purchase, sales, and exchange. It took a heavy hit globally because, again, aircrafts don't fly, they don't need spare parts. But where we do actually see still ongoing demand is in the cargo segment. So cargo aircrafts are operating, as we know, and they're actually even operating more than ever. The cargo section is keeping it going. But a lot of competitors in the spare part arena, those who haven't yet disappeared, many of them are in the large liquidity crisis, and we see as a benefit us having many business lines supporting and complementing each other, that we are expecting to see much less competition as well in about half a year from now, when in most of the states in Europe at least the government support has finished, and those who struggled in the liquidity crisis may likely be disappeared as well. And that's why, coming back to what I earlier said, we are definitely here to see the opportunities in the chaos. The next business unit which I would like to bring out is the engine stands 24, which is the rental of engine stands which are used for engine transportation. That is one of the business unit that is doing and showing record results during this crisis, and the records are coming because of the demand for engine movement. Lessors again are taking engines away from airlines, from those who don't need them anymore, or from those who have liquidity issues. And in order to transport an engine, which is the most expensive component on an aircraft, one needs an engine stand. And today we have around 80 engine stands located in Dubai, China, and in Europe. And they are well rented out, and we are actually increasing the number of engine stands in our lease portfolio. We are also negotiating with a couple of big engine OEMs the possibility to do more cooperation on engine stands. So very innovative business unit. We established that 3 years ago, and it has been a very successful ride, and we'll definitely continue focusing on that. Next business unit, line maintenance. It's a maintenance that is being done in the apron between the flights, and that business obviously took a heavy hit because of the fact that it's directly linked to the aircraft's landing to the apron. The demand is still there from cargo operators and some rescue flights. We see a recovery in international airports and some bigger hubs, and our subsidiary in Netherlands called Direct Maintenance, they are the ones to see the recovery in the large airports such as Dublin, Ireland, in stations in Germany, yes, Düsseldorf, Hamburg, as I said, Schönefeld, and in Amsterdam as well. The stations in Africa are a bit more difficult situation right now, because the traffic in Africa is expected to recover with a slight delay. Again, as said earlier, when I spoke about spare part traders, then in line maintenance, we also see many stressed competitors who are forced to stop their operations. A good amount of engineers available on the market. Till now, our line maintenance is still operating and showing results which don't make us worried. And as a group, we keep functioning all together. So in this new reality, when some of the competitors have disappeared, we hope to see again large demands and hoping to capture that demand. We also have line maintenance in Tallinn and in some smaller stations, and we're using this crisis as a good leverage to consolidate our smaller line maintenance with a bigger line maintenance. So in the future, Magnetic MRO won't be doing line maintenance under its own brand. All of our line maintenance will be moved under the brand called Direct Maintenance. And under that brand, we are also going to conquer, as always, conquer the world and become the preferred choice in Europe, the #1 player in the Europe in line maintenance. The cabin business in Mack Interiors, one of our subsidiaries, definitely a difficult time for cabin business because of it's considered to be a luxury item, and airlines focus on the cabin quality once the primary needs are satisfied. And today, whether the seat cover is dirty or broken is not so vital. More important is whether you have money to pay the fuel and endurance. So what we are doing in the cabin area, again, we are not looking to wind down this company or close it. During the past 1 month, I personally have received teasers for at least 3 cabin companies to acquire. Obviously, we are not looking to buy a company. It's just to give you an understanding how difficult it is for some of the cabin companies who solely focus on the cabin business. We are more diversified, and our cabin team also supports the ongoing base maintenance, so they have the full right for existence. But what this crisis teaches to us and to the cabin side of the business is that we are going to focus more on the production. So far, we were more on the maintenance and on the aftermarket cabin work, but we will have a full focus, and it's already in the progress, in getting some of the large OEM cabin work into our organization. So producing items to any big OEM, Boeing, Airbus, Embraer, all these things are now ongoing. And if I earlier mentioned that the MRO industry before the crisis was in the level of $90 billion, then the OEM industry is approximately 5 times bigger per year. So it's an enormous industry, and it's only natural that magnetic MRO is going to take the next stage and more aggressive step into the production. And that also reasons the existence of our cabin business, and we're fully focused on keeping that one going. And one of the business unit worth bringing out is painting. We also do aircraft full painting. Before the crisis, airlines were painting the aircraft approximately each 5 years, some airlines each 7 years. Hangars were fairly loaded. And right now, with this wave of repositioning of aircrafts, we have a situation where the lessors need to paint the aircrafts, because before giving the aircraft to the new lessee, you need to put the new paint. So there is a very high demand for painting, at least for us. And leasing companies like to come to us because bringing aircraft here means you can have everything on one spot: maintenance, cabin, and painting. And the latest new development before the COVID in our organization was entering more heavily into the asset and leasing business. And we launched a brand called Magnetic Leasing, which is a joint venture with the Texas-based alternative investment fund called Crestline. And with this organization, this joint venture, we have invested throughout before the crisis, and one of the acquisitions we also did already during the crisis. Our portfolio size is approximately $55 million, and it consists of relatively liquid assets which are still very attractive. We have some engines and even 2 aircrafts which are meant for leasing. There will be some news and announcements soon coming out about our success in leasing, even during the crisis. Of course, it would be wrong to say that it's easy and good times for the asset business and leasing business. No, it is not. But our investment fund is not leveraged, it's asset-backed, so we are not in a position to be stressed and to liquidate our assets. We are fine to sit and wait, and actually, together with our joint venture partner, we have agreed that we will sign only those deals which make sense. One of the aircrafts we should be putting to lease very soon. And we're actually more focusing again to see the opportunities in the chaos. And it's not good to say that, but in many countries, the government subsidization for the airlines is going to come to an end. They will then hit a huge liquidity crisis, and we're expecting to see some of the bankruptcies in the 4th quarter and as well in 1st quarter 2021, which is definitely going to be the most difficult time for the airlines, because winter, even without the crisis, is always a low liquidity period. In other words, we are looking forward, I don't want to see looking forward the bankruptcies, but we're looking forward to see some of the assets on the market with such pricing that the world has never seen. So we're definitely going to be ready to take most out of it. Our joint venture partner is very well known in the industry, and they're also backing us, and we're totally looking to do something big throughout this crisis. That's about the business, and the first half of the year results were posted on the Nasdaq as well. Everybody can read them. If you have some questions, then as Astrid said, you can drop questions to us over here. We won't be posting the third quarter report simply because when we redeem the bond, then we don't have the obligation to do so, and we won't be doing that. But again, if somebody has a very specific question, general question about third quarter as well, then go ahead and ask. Still, as a company, we're profitable, cash flow is positive, but it's of course challenging, and I think it's the game of toughest will survive. And we've never been a mediocre company, and we don't want to be a mediocre company. So we're focused to be better than the average. And for those who actually might be asking if some of the things I said sounded fairly positive, then why we are actually redeeming the bond? The reason is very simple. Looking what is happening in the market, then the predictability is very difficult. And to have such a fund or bond where we have to meet the covenants, etc., then it's difficult for us to foresee what is going to happen each next quarter. And as we respect our investor deeply, and we're definitely not the first nor the last time offering something like that on the capital markets, then we thought that instead of spending energy during this COVID, trying to get the majority investors voting for the possible waivers, etc., then we immediately started to focusing on how to do an early redemption and leave with a positive sign that investors can trust us. Even us being probably in the top 3 most heavily hit industries, we're still doing that. And we would like to leave, yes, as a positive company. Will we come back? We have a long-term plan with our owners, which also has been publicly said that their goal is to IPO Magnetic MRO. It won't happen in Estonia, but it will happen in some other country. So our relations already today with the investors is extremely important. For us to become publicly listed in the long-term future is definitely hard work. We need to reach certain revenue limit, and for that we are doing those harsh moves, and we were fully tuned to capturing the opportunities after the chaos. In fact, I even believe that this chaos and this crisis even can help to speed up Magnetic's growth, actually, to reach the IPO target in the future. And for the redemption, we're using a lot our owner support, etc. If you were reading the Q2 report on Nasdaq, then you also saw the equity injection. And also during the third quarter, which we are not going to make a report, there was also another injection for a reserve. So that's basically what we're gonna do. And I think that's it. So if there will be questions, then we are free to answer those. Astrid, you
no questions at the moment.
So far, no questions, right? So if anybody has questions, then please speak up and ask us. Seems like everything is very clear. We had 352 investors total buying our bond, which was really amazing to see that we had so many private individuals, and the traffic of our bond was rather high, so we were popular. It was very good to see that, and motivates us to push us even more. And I hope in the future, yes, some of you can be part of our success story still. Seems like there is really no questions.
So maybe a couple of minutes just.
Yeah, so, and look, we have this investors relations email address. We tend to be responsive. There was a technical issue during some time with those who asked some questions, but you can ask the questions from us also whenever after the bonds are redeemed as well. So there is no strict line for that.
Maybe about the dates, no? 21st of September. So bonds going to be redeemed on the 21st of September, the next interest payment date, including bond amount, interest, and redemption fee.
Yes. Yes, unfortunately, we don't see the listeners' faces, but I know that if it hasn't been
one question arrived,
hasn't been a crisis, then an early redemption of a bond. And we had a 3-year bond, just to recap, and 19th of December 2018 we started. So we still had almost 1 year and 3 months to go before the planned redemption. So then probably would have been unpopular to redeem the bond earlier, but I guess these days, looking also some of the investors' questions we received before this webinar, then I hope it is taken positively and nobody has bad feelings and understands magnetic MRO, why we are doing that. So we need that definitely. It makes us more secure for the future to redeem the bonds now. But yes, there was one question.
One question. What is the source of financing for redemption? Is it from the new equity injection?
Yes, the answer is the equity injection, which came during the second quarter. Actually, there was also an injection by the owners during the third quarter, but you will not see that. As I said earlier, we won't be posting the third quarter report. And also Magnetic actually had gathered some of its own reserves. So we also have reserves on our own. Yes.
But majority will come from the owner.
Yes. Any more questions, please post. If really no more questions, then this video recording will be later available also publicly. I think around 1 hour after this meeting ends, it will be available. And those who will be watching this video via recording, then feel free to ask questions via our investor relations email address. So yes, I guess meanwhile we just can wish you to stay safe. I hope I wish you all start traveling soon. So the one company that says that. So yeah, order a lot of goods via internet so that e-commerce will be booming. So look, aviation as an industry will not disappear, that's for sure. But it is the game that the toughest will survive, and we're doing everything possible to be the toughest and never fall into the mediocrity. So yeah, I think we'll finish then if no more questions.
No questions.
So thank you all who actually trusted us, trusted your money and your savings to us. I hope this time you were with us, you at least got, yeah, I mean, fair to say that you got some of the money back. You earned some of the interest. We are going to be back in capital markets, as I said. In what form and when, cannot say that now, but we want to keep the doors open. We hope to leave with a positive message. And once again, thank you. Astrid, you, anything?
Thank you from my side as well. If you have any questions after this webinar, you have our contacts. Please approach us. Let's stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And yes, stay safe. Bye-bye.